This is a Vantage Point with Pastor Henry podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Vantage Point with Pastor Henry. It is educative, informative, entertaining, enlightening, edifying, and spiritually uplifting. Sit tight and put on your seatbelt and get ready to be blown away.
Get ready to be blown away. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, wherever you are. Put on your seatbelt. We've got another amazing episode of Vantage Point with Pastor Henry. And of course, my name is Henry. I love to welcome every one of you, those of you listening by iHeartRadio, those of you listening by iTunes, and those of you going straight to our website to listen to our podcast. I just want to apologize. Our website is temporarily down because we're migrating to a new website, and it will be ready before the end of this week. So I do apologize for that. Also wanted to say we're building a new team, so you will be seeing a lot more of digital effects and all of that. We will be advertising it in the weeks to come. Some others have reached out to us and say, how do you do what you do? And so we decided, okay, what we'll do is build a team that can do what we do for other people. So we're building a team. I have Cassie with me, I have Sue with me, and I have Sue. So Sue, yeah, I didn't know that was your namesake. So I have Sue with me, and I have Andrew, and we're building a team. We're going to be able to replicate what we're doing for other people at very little cost. So your digital effects, your voiceovers, your graphics, and your website design, we can do all that for you. I will not be involved in it full time because I also run around trying to preach the gospel. But Andrew, Sue, and Cassie will be working, and I'll just supervise and make sure it has my touch and my class, my standard, which everybody seems to like. So thank you very much, and we'll be looking forward to that. I'll send out emails to that effect. But without much ado, I want to introduce what we're talking about today. I have Sue. She's an author. I met her on Facebook, and we started talking and spent some time, and she's amazing. I can already tell that you're going to enjoy this episode because of the kind of things we're going to be talking about. Sue is an author. She was a retail banker for over 40 years, and she's married. She lives in, I think, I don't want to get it wrong, either north or south. You can, she'll say, I'm pretty sure she'll tell us where she is. And so I greeted her, good morning, and she said, good afternoon, Henry. I'm like, oh yeah, you are in the UK, time difference. But that's how fun she is, and you're going to learn a lot. She's going to be talking from her book, and the title of her book is, hold on, I'm drawing blank. Building Confidence, and the subtitle is How to Thrive as a Shy Person. I got it. I didn't have to check my notes. Good. Building Confidence and How to Thrive as a Shy Person. And isn't that an amazing title? So many of us, it doesn't really matter your age. Yesterday, I had Jessica Maloney, and a lot of you were responding to some of the things she said, and we were talking about how to come out, how to be yourself. And it is just so apropos and related that we're talking about this with Sue. She's going to be telling you how her part of the story, and also telling you a lot about how to discover yourself. 5 things to do to discover yourself, to come out and be who you're supposed to be, and overcome the sometimes self-inflicted prison of shyness. And sometimes it is not a self-inflicted prison, sometimes it is societal in nature. And so we're going to talk a little bit about it. I don't just want to talk about the 5 steps. We want to just go back and lay a good foundation for it. So I already think we will have Sue come back, because we won't be able to get through 11 questions now that we have. We'll have her come back and talk to us about this, but we'll make it just about the book. We'll make it about her story. And of course, don't forget the Vantage Point game at the end of today's episode. So I said so much. I try to get you also appetized for the amazing woman you're about to meet, and I won't keep you any much longer. Hello, Sue. Good to see you.
Hello, Henry. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. And I actually live in the south of the UK. I'm in England, in a
South of
county
the
called Devon, which is
UK.
really beautiful, and it's in the south.
Good, good, good. I'm going to be in UK one of these days. I'll send you a text and say, hey, I want to come see the beautiful city.
Definitely, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Sue, nice to meet you. Tell us, who is Sue Reid?
Yeah. So, like you said, I was in retail banking. I started in retail banking when I was about 17.
Wow.
Wasn't my choice of job. So this will give you an indication of how shy I was.
Wow.
My dad chose my career for me. My dad said, you can be a secretary, you can work in a bank. I don't know why he thought working in a bank was a great idea, but he did. I went to secretarial college for 2 weeks and I was useless. I was all right at typing slowly, but the shorthand I could not do. So he decided that I would work in a bank. So he even did the application forms for me.
Wow.
I, of course, had to go to the interview because he wouldn't have passed off as me. So I got the job. But actually, I loved it. The thing I loved most about working in a bank was dealing with the general public, talking to people, helping people, getting to know people, which is why when I left, I moved into coaching, because that was all the things I loved to do. So,
Wow. So already I have new questions coming up. How does somebody who loves to talk to people, you said talking to the general public was one of your highlights of working as a banker. How does somebody who loves that now have to deal with shyness?
I know, because I was shy. I've always been shy. I still am shy, but it's very hard to tell now that I'm shy. I think there is a difference between self-confidence and shyness. I think shyness is, in the most part, a personality trait. I think what they say, 15% of children are born shy. And there is a reason for that, which I'll come back to in a second. But I think confidence, when you're shy, you're more sensitive. So it's easy to lose your confidence. But I don't think it necessarily goes together that if you're shy, you're not going to have very good confidence. But the reason in this survey they did, the reason why they found out that 15% of children have this shy personality trait is because when we think back to our ancestors, when they started living in tribes, they started living in communities, you needed to have some people that were very wary of what was going on. So they noticed when danger was about. They were a bit more scared of taking big risks. And then you needed some people in the tribe who would take big risks, because they were the ones that would go out and face the wild animals or face the other tribes. So apparently you did need a mixture of people. So that's why some children are born shy. But I also think that when you go to work and when you've got a career, you put that hat on. So I talk to my clients a lot about different hats. So you put that hat on, and that my career was my career hat, if you like. And so in that arena, I wasn't shy because I knew what I was doing. I loved my job. And as you build confidence as you learn things. So as you learn a skill, you get confident in that particular skill. And then you learn another skill, you get confident in that skill. So with working, that was my comfort zone. I was never shy at work. Shy outside, but not shy. And this is why shyness, confidence, self-esteem, it's such a complex area. There's so much to learn in it, which is why we could do a whole season of episodes on
No,
confidence.
I am already thinking that's probably what's going to happen. We're probably going to have to do a whole season, and maybe we'll just take it a little at a time, because I am pretty sure people would want to have these broken down. And the other thing about it, which I quite like, is um, um, I want to take away a lot of the spirituality of it and just deal with it. I don't want to say secular, but and I don't want to say psychological, but just bear without, I think that in Christianity we spirituality kind of just hovers over the whole thing, and so it doesn't go into the nitty-gritty of it. So I am really enjoying the dimensions and aspects that we're going through with this. But you just said something that really just got me quizzed, and it probably moved the question all the way to the top now. So so let me say, is it normal, is it normal for people to have hats that makes them comfortable? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Makes them comfortable in certain fields, and thereby, um, how do I say it? Thereby, um, saving them from shyness. Is that possible? Because what you're saying is, it was natural for you, and you loved it, and so your shyness was not exhibited that much in that area, But then, once the heart of your profession and job was taken off, you were back to your normal person of being shy. Is that normal?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of my shyness was when I was younger anyway. I think by the time I got to work, I was a little bit more outgoing, but some of that was kind of a mask. It was a false sense of um, security, if you like. But I think when you say, are there areas where you feel more comfortable? Yes, I think when you are shy, when you know what you're talking about, you do have your comfort zone. So when you're in your comfort zone, and I think this is the thing with shy people, they like to stay in their comfort zone. The same with introverts. Introverts don't like to be out and, partying all the time. They can do that, but they like every so often to just, the way they recharge their batteries is to be on their own. So an introvert likes to be on their own because that's how they recharge. An extrovert likes to recharge by being with other people. So it's completely different. A shy person who is usually introverted likes to be a lot of the time on their own, but they're okay as long as they're somewhere where they feel comfortable, like maybe with people they know, maybe with their own family, their own close circle of friends. But take them out of that, and that's where they start to struggle.
Hmm. Amazing. So let me say this then, or let me ask this. What role does comfort zones play in the exhibition of shyness? How would you grade it? Is it a big role? Is it a minor role? What is it? So, and how is that? Does that have a bearing on how to help people overcome shyness? Does that make sense to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, because staying in your comfort zone doesn't help you to grow. It keeps you safe. And as a shy person, you want to feel safe. But it doesn't help you to grow. It doesn't help you to develop and expand. Like, you may not want to meet new people. You may not want to, because that might mean having to interact with other people. So it does hold you back to some extent. So
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
being shy doesn't necessarily hold you back, but staying in your comfort zone holds you back, because you need to, even if it's just stretch it a little bit, you need to keep stepping outside your comfort zone to find out what else you can do and to help you to grow.
Okay, so here's what my head. There's just 1,000 things going through my
Mm.
head now. So, and forgive us, everybody. I am today. We're just going to run through a lot of things, but I am thinking that for our audience, we will do what I call, like a breakdown, and I will probably do a whole season of it. Maybe make it 8 to 9, 10 episodes, 1 hour or 45 minutes each, and just take it step by step so that it's like a course. You follow it. If you follow it step by step, it takes you gradually into a full understanding of it. So the questions I'm throwing out now are probably questions that like I'm jumping to grade 7 without going through grade 2. So it's going to be a little bit weird for a lot of you, but bear with me. I promise we're going to talk about it with Sue and see how we can work this out so that before the end of um, April we have a few videos lined up for you if you're very interested. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to be very interested about this because I am not a very shy person. I'm a reserved person, but I can understand what she's saying. And I really think that a lot of you would enjoy and be helped by some of the things. Before we get to your book, let me back out a bit and just ask you, what is shyness? I think that's where we should have started, but let's just go.
I think shyness is a mixture of lots of different things. So as I said, it is a personality trait that I think you're born with. I don't think people suddenly become shy. I mean, if they could go through a trauma, I guess, and lose their confidence, but I don't think that's the same as being shy. So what is shyness? It's a personality trait. It's somebody who likes their own company on the whole. They're afraid to go out of their comfort zone, so they don't want to mix with people that maybe they don't know. They don't want to try new things. There's a fear in there. So it's fear, it's lack of confidence, it's not maybe feeling your own worth, feeling maybe you're not as good as other people. So there's lots and kind of layers to it that all come together. So it's quite a complex area, I think. But I also think that everybody who is shy can not necessarily change the fact that they're shy, but they can overcome it. And like I've said in my book, you can thrive as a shy person. It might take a bit of work or an effort on your part, but you can thrive. It doesn't have to hold you back.
Wow. So let me ask you then, in your um, in your opinion, is there anything medical, hereditary about shyness?
Not medical, definitely, I don't think. Possibly hereditary. I mean, I think I don't know, to be honest. I haven't looked at any studies on that.
So
My
that's one we're going
dad
to
was quite
look
shy,
into.
though.
Sorry?
I think my dad was quite shy. My father was shy. My mother was nervous. So I guess the two together would probably make a also shy and hasn't got much confidence.
That's an interesting mix, nervous and shyness. Would you explain to a lot of people then, that just popped out? What's the difference between somebody who gets nervous and somebody who is shy?
Yeah, so it depends what the nervousness is linked to. So I guess somebody with, say, social anxiety, it's an extreme form of shyness, but also mixed with very low self-esteem. So somebody that is really afraid to mix with other people. So it's not just the fact that, okay, I can go to that party, but I probably won't speak to anybody unless I absolutely know them, and I'll feel really nervous all the time. Whereas somebody with social anxiety probably would, they'd probably rather be ill, or phone up and say they're ill rather than actually go to a party or go to a crowded place. For them, it would be extremely frightening, and they would probably have palpitations. So there is a difference between just being shy and actually being anxious. I mean, when you're anxious, I think that is a mental, physical kind of combination of fear taking over. It's basically letting your mind take over what you're doing by letting the fear run riot.
Wow. Wow. My guest today is Sue Reid. She's an author. She wrote the book Building Confidence, How to Thrive as a Shy Person. And when we come back, we're going to talk about her book and then continue some of the things we're talking about. Please stay there. Don't take your seatbelt off. We're just getting started.
You're watching Rhema Gospel TV, where every word is inspired.
Hello, welcome back, everybody. Just wanted to mention that some of you will be watching this on TV, Rema Gospel TV, who also happens to be one of our major sponsors. Rema Gospel TV is the media arm of Jesus House International, which is a church ministry I lead and serve in. And the media arm has helped us with everything we're doing, trying to get us out there podcast wise and all of that. So Rema Gospel TV loves to bring live events, church events, discussions, and stuff like that. So remagospeltv.com if you want to contact them and if you want them to do any of your media outreach for you, Rema Gospel TV. We will be, like I said, we have a new team and there'll be so many things coming up in the future. You will see it. We will have a lot of information and there'll be a lot of um, commercials that we will be running on Vantage Point with Pastor Henry because they make this happen for us. Once again, it's Rema Gospel TV. Again, my name is Henry, and I'm having so much fun talking about. I already said something about me, which I don't think I have in many, many years, doing podcasting or even talking as a pastor. She got me to disclose that I am a reserved person. And people find it hard to believe that, because I'm traveling, I speak in front of crowds, thousands of people. I walk up to people and just start talking to them. So it's difficult to understand how I would say that I'm a reserved person. But again, back to the first point she was making about having a hat, this hat and this hat. And I was trying to see if that made sense to me, that sometimes I'll just wear the hat of a pastor or a prophet and just walk up to people because I'm a different person. But if you leave me, I can stay on an island alone for 6 months before I'm looking for somebody else, So a lot of what she's saying, I kind of already can see, how that affects me, how and so we're not just talking with Sue Reid, author of the book. We are talking to a doctor today who is diagnosing, prognosticating, and just doing a bunch of things to us. I hope we stay alive by the time she's done. She tears us all open and tells us about our personalities and stuff like that. We're going to go into her book. Like I told you, Building Confidence, How to Thrive as a Shy Person. And we'll see what she says about a lot of the things she has to say. Hello, Sue. Welcome back.
Hello again.
Thank you. Do you have? I'm sorry, I didn't prepare properly for you, and that's my problem. I've been a bit too busy, and my assistant is in Canada, so we're creating a platform where we all can, be connected. And why I'm saying that is that I could have done a better job for you, but if we do and depending on what your schedule is like, I'm open to it. If we do this series, which would be a bunch of series, 8 to 9 or even 10 series, if we do that, one of the things I want to do is I want your book cover. I would want do you have a video promo for your book?
No, I don't.
Okay, so that's something my organization, like I don't know if you understand, but we can do that for you. Very
Okay.
simple, very this thing, but that it won't be commercial. It won't be asking you to pay for it because I can do that for you. And what I would love to do is, kind of place it as an ad. We have three segments. So if we create a 20-second ad, we can place it, in both of them, in the two um, commercial slots that we have. Um, um, so I'll look at that. Do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we'll get all of that information and create a good catchy, book promo and a commercial for you. That way people,
Thank you.
instead of just talking about your book. So I promise you, after talking about your book, the next slot I'll also advertise your book a little bit, whatever we can do, but I would
Thank
want a book cover if we get into what else we'll do. But talking about your book, so what made you write this book? Let's start from there.
Okay. So I retired in 2019, and because of I told some of my friends about my backstory, like, so every so often I'd say something that had happened to me, and a lot of people said, you should write all this down, you should write your life story. And so when I left work, I had it in mind to write. It was going to be I think it was going to be a diary, like a year's journal, and every day there would be a tip to improve your life. So that was to do with confidence, so to improve your confidence more than your life. So I started doing that, and I think I got to, so I'd need 365, and I got to about 150, and I just couldn't think of any more. I'm sure there were, but I just couldn't think of any more to write. And so I thought, okay, so this isn't going to work. And then I thought back to what people had said about writing my life story. And I thought, well, how about if I combine the two? So, how about if I just write a book, put in some tips and action steps that people can take that I did when I was building my confidence, but also put in some of my story woven into it so people could understand how I'd grown. So that's how it came about. And because we were in lockdown and I couldn't do anything else anyway, I thought I'll keep writing. So I did.
Good, good, good. That makes a lot of sense. So tell us, um, there's a bunch of questions that I have here, and I'm trying to see, I'm trying to do people good by arranging it so it kind of flows as if it was a course. But tell us, what are 5 things people can do? Good thing I didn't even know that much about you having 150, and then but tell us, what are top 5 things people can do um, to begin to discover themselves, to begin to break out of shyness, if it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's more to do with growing your self-esteem or growing your confidence, which will help your shyness. So, well, the 5 things, I think the first thing is self-love, and that I think self-love is the key to everything. Whatever you're trying to do, you need to have a love for yourself. And I think once you, and that's not an easy thing to do if you've got low
Mm,
self-esteem, as I
mm,
found. So like the other things to do to improve your self-esteem and your self-confidence are to help you build that self-love, because once you've got that, you can basically do anything because you
mm,
totally believe in yourself.
mm,
Um, so how you build your self-love, you start to understand yourself. That goes hand in hand in it with it.
mm,
And to understand yourself, you need self-reflection. So you need, ideally, you need time to yourself, which as a shy person, you'd probably be quite happy to do that. So you need time on your own where you can think about,
mm,
where does this all come from? When I'm shy, when I'm feeling nervous, when I I'm worried about what's going to happen. Where does that come from? Why am I thinking that? And it's asking yourself lots and lots of questions. I'm a great believer in journaling, which would be another one of the 5 self-help elements. So just write down, be a watcher. So I call it the watcher. You're observing yourself. You're observing what you're thinking. So when you beat yourself up, when you say, why did I do that? I'm so stupid. Why can't I, get out and meet other people? Why am I like this? Just think about that. Think about, well, why am I? You're asking a question, but ask it inside, not externally. Why am I like this? What happened to me? What made me like this? I know from my point of view, and I write about this in my book, is my father was very strict, overprotective, as you can see from finding my job for me. He liked to be in control. My mother was quite a nervous person, and neither of them were really very able to show their love. Plus, I'd got a very intelligent sister that my father was constantly comparing me to. And that, I think, being a shy, sensitive person, that really made me feel that I wasn't good enough. So my self-esteem went down. I didn't love myself enough. So self-love, important. Being a watcher, so really reflecting on what you think to yourself, how your thoughts are running through your mind, your emotions. Where did that emotion come from? Because your mind and your emotions are not you. You are the love inside you, basically. So you're looking at what's going on in this human body you're living in, what's happening in there. Be very present. Most of the time we tend to live, and this is everybody, not just shy people, but we tend to live in either the past or the future. So we worry about what's happened in the past and we worry about what's going to happen in the future. Whereas the only thing we need to think about is where we are now. So be present, be totally aware of what's going on all the time. So that goes with being the watcher. So keep aware. Do meditation. I'm a great believer in meditation. And if that includes your prayer ritual, then include that in your meditation as well, because to me it's all the same thing. It's all coming from the love inside you. And that's the thing that I'm really, really keen on, living a life of love. Gratitude would be another one. Be grateful for where you are now at this point in time. And forgiveness. Forgive not only yourself, but the people that you think have made you like this. There's lots of people in my life that have hurt me and helped me to lose any confidence I did have. But I just think people, they do what they do because of the way they are, because of what's going on in their life, because of maybe the lack of love in their heart. So you have to forgive people. You can't hold grudges, because it just eats away at you. It does nothing to the other person. It eats away at you. So you might think, well, what's all that got to do with shyness? But it's all to do with learning about yourself, how you work, and how to love yourself the way you are without expecting anything else from you. So,
wow.
I don't know whether that was 5 points, but that's what came to mind.
I wrote 8 down. I wrote 8 down.
Oh, you're very complex.
I wrote 8 down, and I'll be frank with you, we can spend almost a whole hour on each of them, based on the kind of questions I can ask and the kind of directions we can go in all of them. But I wrote 8 down, and that was so let's go through them one by one. Let's do that in the next few minutes before we have a break. So quickly,
Okay.
talking about self-love. What I want to do is, so that we don't just ramble around, I want us to kind of go in the direction of how each of them will help discover yourself or build your self-esteem. And I don't want to go from the top. I want to take maybe easy ones, and then we'll come to some very tough ones, because I think self-love, which you said is very, very important. Um, that can we can go all day on that one. So journaling, that was an interesting one. I've never heard somebody explain that aspect of journaling, when you call it watching. You're a watcher, and that's just so powerful. Can we throw more light on that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I mean, it's observing your thoughts,
There are people who don't like that, though, especially some shy people. That's where I want to come from. How do you sell the idea of journaling, of self introspection, of, not just self introspection, of self analysis, self healthy self criticism? How do you sell that to
Mm.
someone who has
Because
that problem?
because this will help you, and it's not always a nice thing to do, because when you're self-reflecting, you're not only reflecting on the good bits inside, you're reflecting on your shadow parts as well, the bits that you don't like about yourself, the bits that you don't want to admit to, the bits that you want to keep hidden, that you maybe feel guilty about. It's bringing those out. Now, you could sit in front of a counselor or a therapist and bring them out that way, but you might not want to. You might not want to talk to somebody else. So writing
Mm,
it down in a journal, you're
mm,
basically telling it to your book. You're
mm,
writing it.
mm,
But because you're writing it, it's coming out of your head into the external world. But you don't
mm.
have to show it to anybody. You can buy those journals that you can lock, I think, so you don't have to actually, nobody can actually look in it.
There are journals you can lock.
Apparently, yeah. I've never actually seen one or had one. You can put chains around them and be locked.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so I see that's a very good point, and I know I was pulling it out for a lot of people. I journal a bit. I've never thought I needed it that much. Um, um but I do see why it would help a lot of people, and that's so powerful, and it kind of becomes maybe a very vital part of whatever you're going to do, because if you don't have the full information, if you don't have full details, numbers, statistics, and sometimes the dirty reality or truth about what you're doing, where you are, how you're feeling, and stuff like that, you will not be able to face and deal properly with what you have to deal with. But there was a second point you made that really piqued my interest, which is forgiveness.
Mm.
And that was so powerful. I was just teaching on forgiveness a few weeks ago. If I knew what you just said now, if I could have made that connection, that would have been a very powerful statement to make to a crowd of people. Um, but I knew it, but it's just coming to my full consciousness that there are situations in people's lives, psychological, that brings them to a place where they are shy, and have problem exhibiting full confidence. And most times, um, it is possible that somebody offended them and put them in that prison. And forgiveness is one key that can unlock that jail. Talk about that a bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, there's so many different things that you could forgive somebody for. But if we talk about the serious traumas, so I'll give you one example. In my book, I talk about when I was 17, I had a boyfriend, and this was one of my first boyfriends. And one day he hit me because I said something he didn't like. So I finished with him. And so he then came up behind me one day and stabbed me 5 times and then left me on
My
the floor
goodness.
for dead. Yeah.
Wow.
And so that was, serious. And I spent a long time agonizing over that. But in the end, what I've never seen him since, because he went to prison. He came out of prison. I took out an injunction because I didn't want him anywhere near me. At that time, because he wasn't actually in prison very long. He was only in for 18 months, despite nearly killing me. But so when he came out, I didn't want him anywhere near me. So he was sent off to live somewhere else, and I've never seen him since. So what would be the point of me continuing with that hate for him all of my life? I needed to let it go, because he would never know. If he doesn't know whether I still hate him or not, and it doesn't matter. And I'm not forgiving him for what he did to me. I'm just letting it go. And that's what forgiveness is. You let it go, because otherwise it's like a cancer. It eats at you. It makes you feel worse than they do.
So explain this. There's just a couple last sentences you said. You're not forgiving him for what he did to you, but you're letting it go. Explain that.
Yeah. So you're not actually forgiving the person and saying, okay, so you nearly killed me, but never mind, you were probably having a bad day. You're not saying that. You're saying, look, what you did to me is not going to affect my life. I'm stronger than that. And I don't like what you did to me, but I'm letting it go. I'm not going to think about it anymore.
That's very, very powerful. I think that for Christians, that point you just made, I could chop up this interview into 22-minute bits and, with a lot of very interesting highlights. But for Christians, that's a very powerful point you just made now. Because one of the things we Christians try to do is we try to jump people from 0 to 100. Just let it go. We pray and push and do everything to get them to forgive. But it's important to understand these baby steps, which is, for instance, the fact that you need to let go. Let it go first of all. It's a very important step. Don't jump to forgiving completely. Just let it go. And I love the point you just made, that I'm not going to wake up and say, okay, you stabbed me 5 times and nearly killed me, and that's okay. That's forgiveness.
Definitely not okay.
No. Not okay. But letting go is, I'm not going to let that affect me. I think we overcomplicate forgiveness, and so it becomes a little bit difficult, because every day people live with the repercussions of whatever anybody has done to them, and what we're trying to make them do is say that that's okay, and it's never going to be okay. But it's better to tell people, I can let it go. I can say that will not affect me, while I agree that was never okay, but I need to let it go to be able to move on. That is so powerful. I was going to ask you if you can throw a little bit more light on if you have any personal experiences of how that can recluse somebody, how that can affect your mentality and psyche, and make you more of an introvert or shy person. Let's talk a little bit more about it, because I'm itchy to hear something.
So I'm not quite understanding what you mean by what the forgiveness are you talking about?
Yes. So I was just looking for, I'm not sure I heard you say anything very detailed about how that unforgiveness can breed, the personality type that is shy and stuff like that. Yeah, I wanted us to just throw more light into that.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about understanding yourself and your self-love, to help you thrive as a shy person. If you can forgive people, and even the slight things that need to be forgiven. So say somebody didn't hold you were going to walk through a door and somebody just let it go, and it almost hits you in the face, that sort of thing. Or somebody didn't say thank you, or somebody bumped into you and didn't say sorry. It's like the little things. You can think to yourself, oh well, they just ignored me, they didn't see me, that's because I'm not worthy, and I'm a shy person, so I'm not going to say anything to them because I'm shy. But if you just say, okay, well, it happened, move on, stay in the present, then you learn to accept things. And I think as a shy person, that's what you need to, it keeps you grounded, I want to say. So that the way the forgiveness comes into it is, it's just making you feel better about yourself. That's the answer. If you feel better about yourself, then your self-confidence will rise, your self-esteem will rise. So it's all about that feeling inside yourself.
I'm going to come back to that. We're running up just very short on time. We have about 30 seconds. I'm going to come back to that, and I want to take it from there. My guest is Sue Reid, and
Vantage Point with Pastor Henry and Sue Reid will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
They say there is a pandemic of loneliness in 2022. It is the loneliest year on the record. Almost 70% of single and 49% of married people feel some form of loneliness. Christmas Day, Valentine's, wedding anniversaries, and children's birthday celebrations are reported to be some of the days when people feel most alone. For obvious reasons. In 2022, the human population hit 8 billion. But never has there been any time when both men and women had the most problem finding love or finding life partners. Introducing The Heart of a True Lover by Henry and Wainwright. In this book, Henry exposes deep scriptural meanings and spiritual significance of the Bible, and reveals the answers it holds to the questions that humanity is asking. Questions like, why am I still single? How do I find my soulmate? Why do I keep attracting the wrong kind of people? Did I marry the right or wrong person? How do I overcome my fear of rejection? How can I get people to love me? How do I handle vulnerability? The Heart of a True Lover is a must-read. Grab your copies today on Amazon, Apple Books, Lulu, Google Books, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, Kobo, or head over to www.theheartofatruelover.com.
Educative, enlightening, entertaining, refreshing, and always spiritually uplifting. Welcome back to Vantage Point with Pastor Henry.
hey, welcome back. My name is Henry, and my guest today has been Sue Reid, author of Building Confidence. Yeah, I'm always forgetting it. Building Confidence and How to Thrive as a Shy Person. We've been this has been a very incisive, very educating, very informative, and very, very entertaining, which are the things I'd love to bring in this podcast. And it is obvious that Sue and I are going to have to do a bunch of series. I'm not even sure if it's just going to be one series, it's going to be maybe a continuing thing, so that I can bring her wisdom and simplicity and just very straight to the point answers to this side of the world across the ocean. So she'll take care of the UK side, I take care of the US side. But I promised I was going to talk about her book. Sue has a book, and I'm going to ask her questions that will help us find the book before we answer some more questions that way. Anybody interested in her book can find the book. Her book again is Building Confidence, and subtitle is How to Thrive as a Shy Person. And she does have a website. We're going to do some video promo for her, and during the series you will see it here. And I want to bring Sue on so that we can talk a little bit about her book. I'll sell her book there, and then we can see what we can do in the last few minutes we have. We're running out of time. They say you have when you're having fun, time flies, and this one is not flying. This one is skyrocketing to space. So some reason I could do this all day. But good to have you back again, Sue. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's been really good, hasn't it?
It has been really, really good, and I could start all over again, and ask the same questions again. That's how you know you're enjoying class. When the topics are so fun that you want to go back and you're not bored about what you talked about. That's really, really good. But let's quickly talk a little bit about your book. So, what's the name of your website?
My website is Sue Reid Coaching, so it's www.suereidcoaching.com.
Okay, I do apologize. Like I said, I should do a very good job for you, which is get all this information, and then when you're saying it, we'll put it at the bottom, and so people can see it. And I don't have an assistant now. He's at work, but we're creating a platform where he can be online with me when this is going on, and help me type out, so I'm not distracted typing it out. I could have done it right way, but it would be a little bit distracting. So SueReidCoaching.com, right? Sue Reid. And is that where to get your book?
My book's on Amazon.
Okay,
so that's
on Amazon.
The best place to get it. Yeah.
Okay, so the best place to get your book is on Amazon.com, and the name of your book is
Building Confidence.
Okay.
And the subtitle, as you said, is How to Thrive as a Shy Person.
Okay, so let's ask you a bunch of 4 or 5 questions that will help people identify the book. Because when I googled you, there's a lot of Sue Reids, movie stars and authors. And have you noticed that?
Yes, it is a common name, more common than I was expecting. That's Reid is my husband's name, so that's his fault.
Oh, there she just exhibited one good sign of a woman.
But the easiest way to find it is to put in Sue Reid and then put in Building Confidence, and it does come up.
Yeah, when you do that, it does come up. So let me ask you then, what color is the book?
It's green. Shall I show you it?
Oh, please. Oh, there you go. You have it. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Look at it there. Building Confidence, how to thrive as a shy person.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, good. How many pages is it?
Oh, I don't know. Not that many. It's 159.
159. Good. What year was it published?
2022, last year.
Oh, good. Did you self-publish?
No, I had a publisher or a publishing agent. So she did it all for me because I thought it'd just take too long for me to work it all out. So I just gave it to somebody else to sort out.
Okay. Is there any way you can tell us what's chapter 1, chapter 2, the titles of chapter 1 and chapter 2?
Yeah. So chapter 1. So the chapter of the name rather of chapter 1 is Wanting to Fit In. So
okay. Chapter 2.
And chapter 2 is Clearing the Land.
Wow. Okay. So mini, miny, mo. Let's go with chapter 2. Can you read us, let's say, the first paragraph of chapter 2?
Yeah, sure. So chapter 2, Clearing the Land, the civil engineer. If we're building a house, we naturally need a road to access it. And I like to use the metaphor of the civil engineer designing a road to explain my transition to being an empowered and self-assured woman. My transition was the road, my journey from one place to another. When we are following life's true path, there will always be obstacles along the way. We will have limiting beliefs, that inner voice telling us not to even bother trying. These beliefs are often based on fear, which, as I said earlier, is simply a protection mechanism. But the fear relating to those beliefs may no longer be valid. These days, if we fail, it's unlikely we'll die or be punished. The only likely punishment is the one we'll give ourselves. Limiting beliefs are just that, beliefs that limit you. The reason I'm talking about a house there is because building confidence, I use the metaphor of a house. So when you're building a house, you start with your foundations. And so that self-love, self-care is the foundation. And then I used like clearing the land. So you'd clear the land, build your foundations, then you like start building the house. And then after you've moved in, you have to do the maintenance, which is basically once you've got your confidence, you can't just sit back. You've got to keep working on it. It's, you know, you're evolving day by day. So
I must say it's so beautifully written, just
thank
that
you.
chapter. And I good thing I picked that one, you know. So there was something intriguing about clearing the land. It sounded something really intriguing. It was like I'm imagining a banker talking about an engineer clearing the land. That was going to be very intriguing. And
But also, if you think about limiting beliefs
yeah.
and self-confidence, so the way to overcome shyness and self-confidence is to clear out your limiting beliefs. So when you go to, I mean, a lot of coaches and therapists talk about clearing the weeds out of your garden before you can plant your flowers. And if you look at that as a metaphor for clearing out the mind, so clearing out all those limiting beliefs, all your negative, toxic thoughts, and then planting new seeds. So seeds of happiness, seeds of positivity, seeds of hope.
Wow. Whew. That's a topic we can spend forever on. And I am being so self-controlled and trying not to preach and pray right now because I'm getting all excited
Feel
about it.
free, feel free.
I'm wanting to just start praying because I'll be very frank with you. This is something that, you know, pulls on the apron strings of my heart. I get very, very, very sensitive for people because this is the area that God has made me very sensitive to. I do get a lot of people reaching out to me and wanting me to build their confidence, wanting me to pray about, you know, self-actualization, appreciation, self-love, and stuff like that. So this really hits home for me, and I am hoping that a lot of people do get to see this. We have a few minutes left, Sue. I'm not disappointed. I'm very, very happy, and I do think that maybe later tonight I'll reach out to you with some ideas about how we can have a series going. But I don't know which of these questions I should get to now. I want to get to all of them. I don't have the time. But let's not um can you ever completely change from being shy to being a bold person, or do you just get better at managing it?
I think you get better at manage it. I don't think you can completely change your true identity, but you can change the way you come across, and you can also change the way you feel inside. So if you change how you feel inside and you change, I think that's natural anyway. If you change how you feel inside, people are going to look at you differently. Your light is going to shine out, and that will attract people to you. Whereas when you're shy, you tend to hide your light. And so it doesn't attract people to you. And then that makes it a vicious circle, because then if people aren't attracted to you, you think, oh, nobody likes me. So you go around in this loop. So to answer your question, I don't think you can really change who you are, but you can fold back the layers to bring the real you out, if you like. So you're not wearing that mask of shyness anymore.
Wow. Wow. Another one. Let's do two more quick questions and then we'll do our game. Um, what are the characteristics of a shy person? Can you run off, like, because a lot of people they, you know, like today we settled the issue that there was a difference between being nervous and being shy, you know. So can you help people just discover what it is that, you know, that they are doing that highlights them as a shy person?
Yeah, I think when you're shy, you tend to like your own company. You don't like moving outside your comfort zone. So you don't want to particularly meet new people. You don't particularly want to be in large crowds. You want peace and quiet, really. You don't want to take risks at all. You're probably quite wary of people, taking advantage. So you might be quite careful. You also tend to be a people pleaser as well when you're shy. So you like your own company, but the people that are close to you, you tend to do anything for them, which can cause then problems where people take advantage of you, maybe not intentionally, but if you're always saying, yeah, I'll do that, then people will give you more to do.
Wow. So people pleasing is a sign of being shy?
I don't think it's a sign of being shy, but I think shy people tend to be more people pleasing.
I'm tempted to go into why. I understand it. I'm tempted to highlight it for people. Wow. One last question. What does it look like to thrive?
Really, to be able to manage it, to be able to and manage it well. If you're thriving, you're managing it well. So that you are, yes, you're still a shy person, but you are able to deal with it. You're able to live a good life. You're able to be successful in life. You're able to, go stand in front of an audience. Like you said, you can stand in front of an audience and give great sermons and speeches, and that doesn't faze you. You might be nervous before you actually step onto the stage, but you can do
I'm
it.
never nervous. No, never. I'm never ever nervous. But I'm never ever nervous.
You as in the collective, not you.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Yeah, I understand. Wow, that has been so much fun. So much fun. Sue has been a good sport and agreed to play the Vantage Point game. And so she knows the laws, the rules. The rules are, your answer cannot be longer than 10 seconds. Your answers cannot be more than 2 sentences, and you get to pick a number between 1 and 25. I will not set any trap for you. I will read the corresponding question to the numbers you pick. So Sue is game, right?
Yep.
Good. What number?
7.
Number 7. Where is your happy place?
Ooh, well, I live in Devon, and my happy place is on Dartmoor.
Dartmoor, explain that.
Dartmoor is a vast area of land, and you can walk for miles and see nobody, just sheep and ponies. And birds.
This is becoming fun. This is that's good. You explained that. We wanted to get, it's not just the location, but why is it your happy place? Let me. Sorry, that's an extra for you. Sorry, you're so good. We'll ask you an extra. Why is it your happy place?
Because it is totally. It's for me. It's like paradise on earth. It's totally peaceful. You can walk for miles. You can be by yourself. It's beautiful. You'd have to go there. You've got to go
I
there.
will have to go there. Is there any way you can tease us sometime in the future with a little video of Dartmouth?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Let's do that.
I'll take that. Next question. Number.
Number 15.
15. House or apartment on the 50th floor?
House.
Okay. Next.
23.
23. Woo! You fell right into it. Recite 2 verses of the Bible back to back.
I'm afraid I'm going to fail at that one.
Okay, we'll give you a replacement. Another number.
21.
21. Wow. Okay. Tom Cruise, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Will Smith, John Cusack, Mr. Bean.
You know what? I would prefer to spend time with Mr. Bean because he would make me laugh.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you very much. That's a little bit enlightening about you. Your happy
I should
place.
brush up on my Bible skills before next time.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's absolutely okay. And I'm pretty sure you would pull one out if we gave you like a minute. I'm pretty sure you would pull one out.
I expect so, yeah.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Sue, for doing this. I'm going to get back to you tonight or early tomorrow morning with a little bit of a plan. Let's see what we can do. Meanwhile, I'd love to say if you can begin to create like a schedule, not a schedule, a syllabus sort of a thing, so we take it, what is shyness, and then it becomes like a course that we can do it. That would be really good. But I promise I'll create a video promo for your book. I need the book cover, and and I'll ask you what you want me to sell about the book, so I'll create a good promo for you. 20, 30 seconds, even 1 minute, I don't mind. I'll do it for you. And so we can place that, and I'll send it to you. You can put it on your website and do whatever you want to do with it, but I want to thank you sincerely for, just accepting to do this with me, and we chatted a bunch of times, and I know I'm going to be on your own in next month, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I promise you, just for the fact that of what I heard from chapter 2, clearing the land, I'm buying your book. I'm going to get your book, and I'm going to tell everybody about it, because I love the way it was reading, very visionary, very visual, very incisive, and very creative, also helping people with ideas, with metaphors that can help them sort out things. So thank you very much. We'll take a closing statement from you. Just how can we thrive? What do you want to tell people to go out and do?
I would want to tell people to go out and really live their life. Don't stop doing things just because you're shy or because you lack confidence. Just go out and just try things. You only have to do something small every day, and you move forward.
Well, thank you very much, Sue. Thank you. And I thank you, and I will be with you guys next episode, which will be coming out on Saturday. Thank you so much, Sue, for your time. And my name is Henry. This has been so much fun. Like I always say, stay healthy, stay happy, stay engaged, stay blessed, and stay loved. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Vantage Point with Pastor Henry. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share it with your family and friends. You can find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. Download the latest episodes on Saturdays, weekly. I look forward to sharing the next episode with you. As always, stay well, stay healthy, stay happy, stay loved, and stay blessed.